Hi there! So it has been a while since I made even one of these videos, or any videos. We're not going to talk about that. So I'm just going to kind of dive right on in because I know that I could tend to ramble. I'm just going to try my best. Also, Crumpet was on the bed, and so I'm not going to move her because I'm not a jerk. I'm not going to move my sleeping cat. No. I'm actually remembering to move to one side so that way I could put the pictures of the book over here, and I moved to this side so that way me and Crumpet could be on the same side together, and if she does anything cute, she won't be covered up by a book. Now I'm just gonna come clean. Yes, there's gonna be more Junji Ito on this list, but I promise that going forward into the future, there's gonna be a little bit less because I made my way through his entire, bibliography. Okay, so if you're thinking to yourself, like, damn, I don't know if I want to watch all these bitches' book reviews videos if all she's gonna read is one author, I promise it's not gonna be like that for much longer because I finished it all. But the first book I want to talk about is actually a book that I finished at the tail end of 2017 but didn't get a chance to talk about. Actually, this happened at the end of 2016 too. Weird. This is actually a reread of a Junji Ito book, but I still want to just throw it in there in case anyone is interested in hearing my opinions on anything, but I'll keep this quick. It was Uzumaki. Uzumaki is the story of a town that is haunted by the mysterious idea of a spiral. Now, you're maybe sitting there going, how can you what? But it's just the notion of the shape of a spiral that is haunting a town. And you may not be able to really grasp it until you actually read the book and see what I'm talking about, but I will tell you, you will be seeing spirals everywhere from after you read this book. But it is more of it is in the standard issue. This is basically a manga as a book. And it's like the collector's edition of a manga as a book. So it is very episodic, and it is like a Freak of the Week type stories as a book. And I just think that it's, like many Junji Ito stories, it's more of the spectacle of the weirdness of the story he's telling as opposed to what actually happens to the characters. You don't really give a shit about any individual character as much as it's like you're looking at the weird imagery and shit, but it's still a fun read. The next book I want to talk about, the way I started off 2018, Junji Ito put out a new collection of stories in a book called Shiver. So, you know that if Junji Ito was putting out something new, this bitch had to get it. And it did not disappoint. I was a little miffed when it had, like, some older stuff from, like, Tomy in it and stuff like that. But it does have some stories that weren't in anything like Fragments of Horror or anywhere that I've seen in English. But it's still really a good read. There's still some really amazing stories in there, like The Long Dream, and oh my god, it's still really a great read. Right, what's next is an adaptation of Shirley Jackson's short story The Lottery, which was adapted into graphic novel form by Miles Hyman. And basically why I picked this up and why I wanted to mention it is because whenever I see things like this, I do try to, like, at least pick them up and read and try to support things like this because I do love the medium of graphic novels and I do really appreciate the artistry of the medium transfer and the art of telling stories in different ways and getting things across differently. However, I didn't think that this graphic novel was anything special, you might as well just read the short story. If I thought that the art in this was anything to write home about, I would have been like, yo, pick this up, hell yeah. But it really isn't. Just read Shirley Jackson's The Lottery on your own time. Alright, this is the last Junji Ito book I will mention, and probably mention for a while, I swear. It is The Dissolving Classroom, which is a story about a brother and sister who are, I don't even know how to describe it. The brother is in love with the devil, and the sister is just fucking weird. And it's one of those things you gotta fucking read it. I don't even know how to describe it, but yeah. Just, it's about a brother young man who's in love with the devil and worships the devil and kind of wants to do evil bidding. What can you do? Alright, the next one was another reread for me. It was My Friend Dahmer by Derf Backderf. This is the story of someone who went to school with Jeffrey Dahmer, the serial killer. And this young man, he grew up to be an artist in his own right, and he wrote this graphic novel about Jeff as he knew him in his adolescence. And I actually, when I read this book the first time, I really did enjoy it, but I read it again also because there was a film coming out, and it was going to be available on Prime and everything, and I kind of just also wanted to refresh my facts. And also, it is a really good book. For some people worry that, like, when they read a book by someone who knew a murderer, or why did I put quotes like he didn't murder people? He murdered people. But I mean, they're worried that they're gonna read something that people are gonna ask you to feel super sorry for them or stuff like that. But that isn't this type of book. It's just that Derf portrays that, like, hey, you know, I'm not apologizing for Jeff at all, but, like, you know, the way shit was didn't fucking help him either, by the way, you know, just, I mean, look! And I think that's interesting, and I could make a whole video talking about my opinions on serial killers and da-da-da-da. Maybe I should, but this is a really good book, and I honestly think that it was great. Oh, movie was trash, by the way. Let you know. The last one I want to talk about is The Amazing Screw-On Head and Other Curious Objects by Mike Mignola. And, okay, when I picked this up, I picked it up at the library, and it said that it was in the Hellboy universe, but not about Hellboy. And I didn't know. I thought that, I mean there's comic books in the Marvel universe, but not necessarily about specific canon superheroes, but like about side superheroes that make sense. I think this book expected you to already know who these characters were flying in, and I totally didn't. So, or maybe not. Maybe I just didn't get it. But, I was going in expecting a fun steampunk romp, and I didn't get it because I didn't know what was going on. If you're a Hellboy fan and you're like, oh, these are way established characters, and you picked up something that was like knee deep in the lore and you fucked up, then I'll take the L. I'll say I fucked up. But if I don't know what I did wrong, I'm sorry. Alright, that is all I have for today. Try my best to keep it as concise as I could. I promise I'll be less inundated with Junji Ito next time, if that bothers people. For all I know, it doesn't even bother y'all. You could be like writing in the comments like, bitch, nobody cares. Like, we're fine. You're good. Stop crying. Like this video if you like it. Subscribe if that's your thing. And in the comments, please, I love me book recommendations. I do. I love them with all my heart. Please Give them to me.